Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to BSing Sports for the Week 4 NFL predictions.
With some MLB talk.
With a little bit of MLB talk. Ryan's got some trivia that I don't even know about for Timmy and I. And we had a very good question off air that we're going to bring up regarding the Dolphins game last night. So, like I said, thanks for joining us here at BSing Sports. You see, we all got the matching hat. We got the banners behind us. Keep in mind, if you're in the Central Florida area, Sunday at noon, we will be live in person at Three Odd Guys Brewing in Apopka, Florida. Shout out to Three Odd Guys for hosting us. Thank you very much. And yeah, let's get into our Week 4 predictions. Last night, the Bengals are superior to the Dolphins. Tua goes down with a brutal injury, so let's just get that right out of the way super fast right now.
First off, we all said the Bengals were going to win. All three of us said the Bengals were going to win. I have text, photo, images to prove that. If anybody could come at us and say, well, you didn't do it on the show.
I mean, we didn't. So is it?
I know, but I have the proof. You even tried to punk us out of it.
I did.
Who was going to play?
Yeah. He did. He texted us early yesterday afternoon and was like, hey, Tua's playing. Are you guys changing your pick? And we did not. So in regards to the Dolphins-Bengals game last night, those of you who watched obviously saw Tua Tagovailoa take a hard hit. He was whipped down, his head and top shoulders ricochet off the ground. Gary Brandt says, hello, everyone. Hello, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
So Tua takes a hard hit. He immediately locks up his whole body. He's got can't move his hands. Medical staff straps him to a board. He goes to the hospital. The question that's going on here, Ken says, what's up? What's up, Ken? How you doing? The question that we were asked earlier is, whose responsibility is it that Tua was on the field to begin with at the end of the week before against the Bills, and then again last night, having sustained what looked like a concussion, even though they ruled it a back injury. So I'm going to let Timmy, you give me your opinions on that first, and then we can all weigh in on it. But before you do that, Sandy says, hi all, glad everyone is safe. Yes, for those of you who don't know, we had a hurricane roll through here on Wednesday and Thursday, and it got a little violent, but we are all doing well. Thank you for commenting on us. Thank you very much.
Some were not as fortunate as we were. So
even in my neighborhood, we had people that were not as fortunate as we were. So lucky us. Timmy, fire away.
So my whole thing about this at my dog. He's walking around in my home.
No, it's my dog.
We're making sure one of them's laying behind us.
Oh, my dog's walking around in my room if you hear the toes. But my opinion on this whole thing about Tua is after he got – so if you guys really watched the replay when he first got hit last Sunday, the dude pushed him. It wasn't a hard hit. It was a push. And Tua overreacted and fell. And he whiplashed his neck and back and head to the ground. And it should have been ruled a concussion, but the NFL protocol, like me and Ryan went over last week saying, oh, all you got to do is follow the finger left to right. He passed. It's not hard to do. I can do that in my sleep. Well, not in my sleep, but you know what I mean.
Damn, dude.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you're talented, man.
But other than that, okay, so he didn't have a concussion to play against the Bills. He went in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with back issues and ankle issues they were reporting. Now, yesterday he got hit. It was a little bit of a slam, but the dude was pulling him to the ground and turning at the same time, which caused the so-called slam. In my opinion, it was a little bit harder than it could have been, but it didn't help that Tua didn't brace himself knowing he's going to get hit. And he got hit, and again, whiplash. Hit his head on the hard ground. It's going to hurt. He has a concussion, and he's in concussion protocol right now. But it shouldn't even have been to that because the NFL from Sunday, the policy, he should have failed that concussion protocol to begin with against the Bills. Bill?
So the hit last night I didn't think was dirty at all. If you're watching it in real time, he gets him behind his legs, and Tua's a big, strong kid. You have to tackle him. So he made I'll bring up Ken's point in just a moment. So Togai, I think it's pronounced, made a relatively clean tackle in my opinion. Now, again, I was talking to Ryan about this earlier. Tua should have never made the field. As you guys pointed out last week, the concussion protocol throughout the week when it's not diagnosed during a game is extremely extensive and difficult for a player to come back from a concussion. But for whatever reason, the Bills medical staff decided, oh, okay, we're going to believe that you're telling us it's your back and not your head. And now you're coming back out on the field. So part of it, and this is to Tanya's point, who gave us the question to begin with, is yes, the player wants to play. The player wants to be on the field all the time. It should never be the player's decision to come back from a concussion. It should never have gotten to that point. He should not have played last week. He probably didn't pass the protocol to play this week. But they never put him through the protocol because they were saying it was a back injury. So for me, it's the organization's job to protect the player, regardless of what the player wants to do. So as an organization, the Miami Dolphins failed Tua Tagovailoa. Ryan.
Yeah, so my take is actually the complete opposite of you two. I blame two separate parties here, one of which is the NFL and the other is Tua Tagovailoa himself. I do not blame the Dolphins. I'll get into that a little bit. First issue, Tua, as a player, you gotta be a little bit realistic with yourself, man. If you're walking to the doctor's office complaining your arm hurts, they're not going to check your head, no matter what the play looks like. You know, he goes in saying his back hurts. It's not the Dolphins' responsibility to go the extra mile to take the quarterback who's playing very well this season out. That doesn't do their organization any justice in the short term. They're trying to win a football game. So Tua, if your head hurts, got to be a little bit realistic with the doctors and go in there and say, hey, you know, my head kind of hurts too, along with my back. But if you're going to report to me as the medical staff just a back injury, that's on you, man. That really is. Like, it's not really my responsibility to go up and beyond. And that leads into the second part, that the NFL absolutely 100% should be making these teams go above and beyond. There needs to be a protocol in place that anytime a head makes contact with the ground, the way it did against the Bills in week 3, that it should be checked for concussion extensively. Because as Timmy alluded to, we talked about it last week. We'll probably talk about it again in future weeks. The in-game concussion protocol is a joke. It's laughable. It's not nearly as extensive as the week-to-week, but he wasn't in concussion protocol throughout the week. He was in for a back injury. So to me, this is 50% on the NFL for having the wrong procedures in place and 50% on Tua for not really being honest with his medical staff. Look, as much as we want to sit here and blame the Dolphins organization for this, their best interest is to win football games. Their best interest was to keep the quarterback that was playing well and giving them a chance to win football games out on the field. So if he's not going to report to me that we have a head injury and the people above me, being the NFL offices, aren't going to require me to check it, I'm not going to.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with that take too. I really do. So the way it sounds from BSing Sports here, regardless of how many different opinions we just gave, is that everyone responsible is responsible. Tanya says that Tua is just as responsible as the medical staff. The NFL is just as responsible as the medical staff. To Ken's point, he pointed out here, he says, if it was Tom Brady, it would have been a penalty, the hit on Tua last night. And the reality is that it might have been if it was Tom Brady. We don't know unless it's a hit against Tom Brady.
Both of those hits were very legal, in my opinion. There was nothing malicious about the initial contact made by the hit. It just happened to be that a big man this past Thursday was dragging down a much smaller man, and he made contact directly to the turf with his head. It was more so of a untimely play, like bad timing, bad place type thing, rather than a malicious hit. But no, neither one of those hits was malicious. Neither one of them should have been flags, shouldn't be fines. It should just be unfortunate. We hope to as well. Move on.
Listen, big hits happen in the NFL. It's going to happen, but I agree with Ryan. I think they were both legal. Like, there was nothing wrong with them. It happens. And that injuries happen, and it gets so happened that the right procedures wasn't taken in that area, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys already pointed it out. I'll say it again. The in-game concussion protocol is a joke, and the NFL needs to get better at that. Ken, referring to his Tom Brady comment, says, oh, I agree, legal hits, but you get what I'm saying. Yes, we understand that you're saying the NFL favors Tom Brady. When you're probably one of the best quarterbacks in history, you're probably going to get favored. Doesn't matter. Greg Maddux got pitches 6 to 8 inches off the plate because he was one of the best pitchers in baseball his entire career. It's going to happen. You're going to get favor. It is what it is. So you can complain about it, which I understand is what you're doing, But it is the nature of the beast at this point. Brady's going to get those calls.
Brady's also been around for 20 years. He knows how to take a hit, knows how to brace himself going to the ground.
That too.
That was my other point too, right there. Tua don't know how to brace himself. Like I said, like
Gary says, I have to go do what they pay me to do. Keep up the great show, gentlemen. Very happy we're all safe. Thank you, Gary, for tuning in for as little as you could. We appreciate it. And as always, make sure you're following and subscribing to all of our networks. I'm sorry, Timmy. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good, but I was saying like Ryan stated that Tom Brady knows how to take a hit. It's only his 2 or 3rd year. He still don't know how to take a big name hit like that and getting pulled to the ground. Like it's the learning experience. I bet he's gonna learn next time. And it is what it is. It's time to move on.
You hope it's a learning experience.
Yeah, you hope he figures it out next time.
Yeah. But
right, let's get into now that we've had that little debate there, let's get into our Sunday, October 2nd, Week 4 NFL football games. Starting off at 9:30 a.m. in London.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, bright and early, baby.
We've got the Minnesota Vikings technically visiting the New Orleans Saints. However, they're both in London, so it's an away game anyway you want to flip it. Timmy, fire away with your predictions here. Let's see.
I think Justin Jefferson going to have a big game for some reason. He hadn't had one in the last couple of weeks, so give me the Vikings by 7.
Nobody for the Vikings, yeah. Good.
I know.
So,
go ahead.
This is an easy decision for me. It's the Vikings, no doubt. I do not expect any sort of high-scoring game. I think that these, between Thursday games, European games, where it's kind of like off time for a lot of these guys and short weeks, the offense generally tends to not get going. But as far as from the injury concern, which we're going to touch on heavily this week because there have been a rash of injuries this week in the NFL, it sounds like Dalvin Cook might play, although he's labeled as questionable. The Saints are missing both Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston. Both have been ruled out for this game. So go ahead and give me the Vikings. I think they win about 23-13, somewhere in that neighborhood, regardless of whether Cook plays or not. I think Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas being out is going to be too much to overcome for the Saints.
Yeah, I'm with you. With Winston being out, with Thomas being out, even Kamara's not 100%. This just isn't a Saints team that looks formidable. And as Ryan pointed out, they're in London. It's already an off-time zone thing. We aren't even sure when they arrived, if they have yet to arrive. So you're talking it's completely different time zone, different. It's just a different animal. The Vikings are just more prepared because of the personnel they have on the field. So give me also the Vikings in a 24-10 if the Saints are lucky, 24-10 win.
I'm suspect about the Vikings defense, but
next game, 1:00 in Houston, the Los Angeles Chargers will be taking on the Houston Texans. I'm going to let Ryan go first because he's been all over the Texans.
I ain't picking them this week, so they'll probably actually win. I'm going the Chargers here. I know Keenan Allen has been ruled out for Sunday's game for the 3rd straight week. But Josh Palmer is looking like he's more on the same page with Justin Herbert, who should be playing this week. I know that he was held out of practice a couple days, and then he was deemed healthy, good to go yesterday. So give me the Chargers big, in all honesty. I think that they're due for a bounce-back game. They need to prove something. Already 1-2 on the season.
Tim.
Yeah, Ryan took the words right out of my mouth. The Texans been playing great defense lately and making the games close, but I don't think they're going to make this game anywhere close. Justin Herbert better than David Mills. Austin Eckler better than Damian Pierce. The Chargers in general is better than the Houston Texans. Give me Chargers big.
Okay, I am also going Chargers, so Stacy can type it in our little thing with us. Thank you, Stacy, by the way. We want to say thank you.
Tim, I told you we were going to pick the same teams as you from here on out. You're finishing in the basement, bro.
No, listen, the biggest thing for me is the whooping that the Chargers took last week at the hands of the Jaguars. They're not going to want to put on a showing like that again. Staley definitely doesn't want to put on a showing like that again because you have a team where the roster looks like a playoff team, and right now you're not playing like one. So for me, I think it's the Chargers, and I also think it's the Chargers big. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. In addition to thanking people who have been helping us, there's another individual we really got to thank. And that is Allie Brandt, my wife. I know we thank her a lot. But she's been like making crafts and dealing with the two of us here all week long.
Dealing with the two of us, okay.
During a hurricane, making sure we're staying on track to get the show going on Sunday. So, Al, thank you. We appreciate that as well. Let's see. Moving on to our next. Oh, you know who else I have to thank? I also have to thank Timmy Brandt.
You don't have to lie.
You sent me the hats.
No, well, it is what it is.
I was going to ask, what are we thanking him for?
He sent us the hats.
Thank you, Tim, for doing exactly what Bill asked you to do.
For real, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Allie jokes that, LOL, yes, Ryan is such a, in all caps, difficult house guest with laughy face. Let's see here. Next game, Chicago Bears visiting the New York Giants. Tim.
Both teams 2-1, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I should start giving the records. 2-1 Bears visiting the 2-1 Giants. Tim.
Two teams that shouldn't be where they're at.
Right? I mean, this would be a difficult decision anyway, but the fact that they're both 2-1 is like, God damn.
So I'm going to go with the Bears. I think Khalil Herbert's going to have a game for himself and prove that he wants David Montgomery's starting spot.
David Montgomery is indeed ruled out for those of you watching.
Yes, he is. I believe it or not, I still think Justin Fields is better than Daniel Jones. It might not have been seeming like it the last couple of weeks, but give me the Bears by 3. Close game the whole game.
Okay, right.
Obviously, those of you seeing my face means I'm in a bind because if I pick every single game the same as Timmy's for the rest of the year, he finishes in last place. Mm-hmm. But I also want to widen the gap, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the Giants here. I know that they're missing a lot of receivers. Sterling Shepard is out. Wan'Dale Robinson is out. Kadarius Toney is also out, so they're hurting a little bit at the wideout position. But Richie James has actually kind of showed out and been a solid receiver for them to this point in the season. And Daniel Bellinger, the tight end, is actually produced here and there too. And Saquon Barkley is the X factor here. I know Khalil Herbert's probably better than David Montgomery, but he's certainly not better than Saquon Barkley. So I got the Giants by a touchdown at home, 17-10.
Okay.
I'm also going Giants. I do not agree with you that right now Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I believe that he might have the potential to be, but he is not right now. And I don't think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, so that really says something. Giants are home. They played for 3 quarters really well against a Cowboys team that really could have and should have beat them down, even with Cooper Rush at the quarterback position. So give me the Giants at home, and I'm going 24-10, 24-14, some along those lines. But yeah, give me the Giants at home.
It's time to make a comeback.
All right. Let's see. We've got like 4 things going here.
So the next game.
The next game we got going on is the 1-2 Seattle Seahawks are visiting. I thought it was in Seattle.
No.
Clearly I made a mistake.
Are
going to Detroit to play the 1-2 Lions. Timmy, fire away.
Like you've been saying on the show lately, Bill, that Dan Campbell got this team on the play. I think the Lions come out on fire without no DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is ruled out, so I'm on St. Brown is ruled out also.
Sun God Brown.
Yeah, Sun God and DeAndre Swift, who is my cousin, by the way. He's just got a tan.
Jesus. Give me the Lions by a lot. I think they blow them out like they did with Washington, in my opinion. Seattle isn't that good of a team, so give me the Lions.
Yeah, I got the Lions as well. I mean, they're missing their arguably 2 best offensive pieces, but Jared Goff's played outstanding to this point in the season. And Seattle, I think, they're just not a better team. They look so disoriented sometimes. Ever since the week 1 win against Denver, they kind of look iffy. I don't trust them on the road. And I think Dan Campbell will have this team ready to go. Jamal Williams is more than a serviceable backup, and Josh Reynolds has shown to have great chemistry with Jared Goff. So give me the Lions here. Again, probably by a touchdown.
Jamal Williams is one of the best backup running backs in football.
Bill also made one of the worst trades at the time in fantasy football.
Yeah,
not looking so bad now. But no, Jamal Williams is easily one of the best backup running backs in football. He's not the talent that DeAndre Swift is, but he's a great compliment to him, and I think he can hold the fort down for a week or two if Swift is injured or while Swift is injured. And then we always go back to coaching, right? We always continue to talk about coaching and coaching and coaching. And again, Dan Campbell for me is, especially at this point in his career, better than Pete Carroll is at this point in his career. So give me Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions winning at home over the Seahawks. Next game, 2-1 Cleveland Browns visiting the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons. Cleveland is favored to win this game. Timmy, go.
Oh, man, this is tough. I think Jacoby Brissett is playing really well, good enough to beat the Atlanta Falcons. So give me the Falcons. Nick Chubb is going to run all over that defense. Kareem Hunt's going to get the passing touchdowns. Listen, Jacoby and Amari Cooper become they're making a chemistry for themselves. Past 2 games, both for 100 yards and a touchdown for Amari Cooper. So I think it's going to be a close game, but I think a late touchdown by Kareem Hunt will win for the Browns.
I don't think I'd be too mad about Kareem Hunt scoring. I think I'm playing him more often than I'm playing against him. Give me the Browns here. I don't think that this is particularly close from the aspect of the Falcons are at home. I do think that Cleveland probably clears a 7-point spread somewhere in that neighborhood. But the Browns are firing on all cylinders right now. And if you have not listened to our NFL preseason prediction show, you need to go back on Spotify or YouTube and check it out, because the 3 of us said that the Browns could be in this territory where they end up like 7-4, 8-3, somewhere in that neighborhood before Deshaun Watson comes back. And with the way Jacoby Brissett's playing, it looks like that might be the case. So give me the Browns here because they're just firing on all cylinders right now. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are doing their thing from the backfield. Amari Cooper's really balled out since week 1. This is an offense that's really rolling. And even without probably Myles Garrett, who was in a one-vehicle accident the other day, I still got the Browns here. But I do think that it's actually a higher scoring game than a lot of people will admit. I'd say like 27-34, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, other than the last 8 minutes of that Jets game, the Browns have looked really good. Impressively good, surprisingly good. The Falcons have shown flashes of what they could be, but they can't close games. They go into Seattle, they win last week. That's great for the Falcons. However, that's not the Browns. We've just discussed how bad the Seahawks are right now. So give me Jacoby Brissett, give me Nick Chubb, give me Kareem Hunt, give me Amari Cooper, give me them guys, and give me the Browns big. Brian's calling the 7-point spread. I'm going to say it's probably not even that close. Give me 10-point win for the Browns. Next game, the 1-2 Tennessee Titans versus visiting the 1-1 Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored to win this game, Tim.
I think Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, and Michael Pittman all pick up from what they did last week. Jonathan Taylor's going to have a better game than what he had last week. What's the coach's name? It's Frank Reich, right?
Yeah, Frank
Reich, yeah.
Frank Reich going to have another great calling plays game again, like he did against the Chiefs. So give me the Colts by a touchdown late quarter.
Before I let Ryan go, we got a fantasy question we're going to bring up real quick. Gits on YouTube says 12-man, 0.75 PPR, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league. Team is Geno, Stafford, JT Dobbins, Kupp, Evans, Myers, Hawkinson, Elijah Moore. My bench is pretty bad. I don't like my team. What trade should I be looking for?
Better quarterback for Geno.
Yeah, it's a one quarterback plays league is what we're going to assume here. And if that's the case, you still have Stafford.
Slow start for him.
Jonathan Taylor, Dobbins, you knew was going to come out and have a pitch count.
You need to go get another running back.
Feeling like you probably need to utilize Kupp as trade bait.
I was thinking either Kupp or Hawkinson. One, because Hawkinson's terribly overrated in my opinion, and he could probably get you a haul if somebody still values him. But Kupp's easily your most valuable piece. You could return a solid wide receiver and running back too easily for him. So that would be my best guess. But as we preached on the show, the fantasy show 2 days ago, every Wednesday at 6:30, somewhere in that neighborhood.
He says he traded Connor and Patterson for JT.
That's a solid deal.
Agreed.
That's a very solid deal.
Yeah,
Just be patient. If you look at the running back scale and the quarterback scale this year, there's a lot of people out of place. I was telling one of my buddies earlier that despite having started actually 0 games this year, Khalil Herbert is the running back 9 in fantasy this year. And that pretty much sums up, the way that the fantasy league has gone. It'll level out over time. I would just say be patient. But if you really feel like you need to make a trade, Kupp's obviously your big one. You could probably get a low-end wide receiver 1 and maybe a low-end RB1 with him, or try and trade Hawkinson for for probably a less valuable tight end, maybe like a Zach Ertz, and return like a depth wide receiver as well.
He got offered. All right, so he says, I got offered Chris Olave, Rashad Bateman, Austin Eckler, Leonard Fournette, and Khalil Herbert for JT and Kupp.
Scroll up. No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that either.
Yeah, no. I mean, Khalil Herbert realistically is only going to get a couple starts this year. He's irrelevant. Can you bring that comment back up? I can't see it. Sorry. Khalil Herbert's only going to get a start or 2 this year. Bateman's a solid, low-end wide receiver 2 option, but obviously he's big play oriented so far this year, as we've seen. Eckler and Lenny are both solid pieces, but I would only give. I wouldn't do it. I would probably look elsewhere for better wide receivers, because once you lose Kupp, you need a low end wide receiver 1 in return.
See, I won't even trade Kupp. I would trade Evans and try to get a lower wide receiver 2 and a lower running back 1.
I don't think Evans has. Yeah, the value just isn't there for Evans right now.
I know Evans is good. That's why I'd say keep him. But his trade value is just significantly different than Kupp's. But I see where you're going with that. I understand that logic.
Thank you, Gitz, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
And we do a fantasy show every Wednesday.
That's true. Ryan, continue with your Colts-Titans prediction.
Give me the Titans here. This is a better coached football team. And overall, I think they are the more talented team as far as I am concerned. There's no significant injuries. Pittman's in, JT's in, Matt Ryan's in, Tannehill's in, Derrick Henry's in. I just think that the Titans are better coached, and they got blown out the first couple games. They looked like an awful football team, but let's not forget that this was the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. And I'm still going to hold true to that. So give me the Titans on the road by 3.
Titans have not impressed me. No, the Colts haven't impressed me either. However, the Colts did just beat the Chiefs. I'm going with Timmy on this one. I think Pittman, JT, and Ryan really build off of that win in Kansas City, or against Kansas City last week. And they pulled this one out as well. They'll be the 2-1-1 Colts in this division. But yeah, give me the Colts.
Once again, I'm the only one going 16-0 this week.
I know.
Next 1:00 game is the Washington Commanders, visiting the Dallas Cowboys at 2-1. Dallas is favored to win. Tim, go.
This is
right.
This is week 4, right?
Correct.
It's Chase Young back for the Commanders?
No, he's on IR.
That makes it a little bit easier, I guess. But give me the Cowboys. It's going to be a close game like they've been playing for the last couple of weeks. If Carson Wentz can pull some magic out, I think he could. But yeah, give me the Cowboys by 3. It's going to be a close game.
This is a battle of, I guess unstoppable force meets immovable object. Not that either has been, number 1 in the league, but the Washington's strength is obviously their offense at this point, and Dallas's strength is obviously their defense. To me, the difference is that Dallas's offense is playing slightly better than Washington's defense is. I'm going to take Dallas at home by 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being kind of a shootout. The 24-27 neighborhood, which, isn't like a mind-blowing amount of points, but the Dallas defense is pretty good. So give me Dallas, by 3, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Commanders pulled the win out on the road.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm going commies on this one. Listen, the first half, I know they had -1 total yards last week against the Eagles defense, and I think the Eagles defense is better than the Cowboys defense. At least they definitely have been the last 2 weeks. But in the second half, the Commanders put a game plan together, and they were moving the football. Granted, they only scored 8 points, 2 of them on a safety. But you can't take away from the fact that they were moving the ball in the second half against a good Eagles defense. I think that continues. Carson Wentz seems to really, really like Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel as receivers. And they're utilizing J.D. McKissick really, really well out of the backfield. I noticed I didn't say Antonio Gibson because they're not. So give me Washington to go into Dallas and solidify Dak come back the following week because Cooper Rush going to have a bad game.
You think Dak really going to come back next week?
Yeah, he's already pretty much said that he's coming back next week.
That's crazy.
Right? Buffalo at 2-1, coming off that ridiculous loss against the Dolphins last week. Going to the 2-1 Lamar Jackson led Ravens. Again, both teams are 2-1. This should be a good game.
Doesn't sound like Gabe Davis will play.
Gabe Davis is not playing, according to what we were looking at earlier. So Tim, Bills, Ravens, go.
Can I go last this time?
Sure, I'll go first. Give me the Bills on this one. I know what Lamar Jackson's been doing. However, their defense has not been nearly as good as they were supposed to have been. And again, the Bills are pissed. The Bills are pissed. So I don't care who they're playing this week. Give me the Bills.
Look, people act like the Bills are some invincible, unstoppable team. Obviously, Miami just proved that factor. Give me the Ravens here at home. The offense obviously, has shown that they are unstoppable anyway. They've scored over 30 points in every single game. And the Bills, truthfully, if they don't have Dawson Knox or Gabe Davis and at 100%, I don't think, and I didn't think that would say this, I don't think they can keep up. I think the Ravens defense is that much slightly better than the Bills defense to the point where they might get a stop or two, and that's the difference. Now, I'm going to expect both teams to score in the 30s here, but give me a healthier Ravens team over a Bills team that probably still doesn't have Jordan Poyer. They just lost Micah Hyde for the season. Tre'Davious White's still out. And now your number 2 and number 3 receiving options are not even at 100%. There's nobody in the world stopping Lamar Jackson right now. He's easily the best player in football, better than Josh Allen, and he's the very early runner for NFL MVP. So I'm taking the Ravens here at home in a shootout.
Tim?
I was hoping one of you two could convince me.
I just did. Pick the Ravens.
It's the Bills, man.
No, I gotta go.
Anything named Bill is terrible.
Hey, thanks. Maybe Frankie Ewing can help you out here, Tim. He says it could get wild, but the Bills won't lose 38-31. He's going Bills.
Won't lose. That's very definitive right there.
I am gonna go with the Bills. I like Frankie's prediction to 38-31. I like that.
That's a solid score. It was like 30-31, 38-35, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right.
But
I am with Bill. I don't think
team's gonna win.
I don't think. No, I don't think. I think the Bills will come out on fire, making up for what they should have done last week and beat Miami. So give me the Bills over the Ravens, 38-31.
All right, going with the score and everything. I like it.
You didn't even come up with that thought on your own. You used some Frankie Ewing from Facebook. Get out of here.
Yeah. So my question to you guys, or to Ryan, you trying to make it a double point bet?
Yeah, actually I am. Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
I'm not agreeing to those terms.
Okay.
Oh, don't be a baby.
We're out. See, even your own supporters are weak.
It's not. This is a much different game than that Dolphins game.
You have like a 3-win lead over us,
which is why I don't want to risk it.
What a baby!
Yeah, don't cry, baby.
I'm not doing a double points bet with the Ravens. Absolutely not. You're not going to peer pressure me into it either. Good try. All right, we got the 2-1, surprisingly 2-1, Doug Peterson-led Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Philadelphia Eagles as the only undefeated team in the NFL right now.
I mean, that was 3-0.
You want to go first?
No, I'll go second. Ryan,
you can go first.
Hi, everybody. It's your boy again. It's your guy who's been preaching forever and ever and ever that teams don't go undefeated in the NFL and that teams that are playing well can really knock them off. You see the Buffalo Bills. Granted, they were just 2-0, but Miami had been playing very well to that point. Went ahead and ended their regular season. That being said, these are actually the only teams that are both top 10 in total offense and total defense in the entire NFL.
That is true.
I did not know that fact. Thank
That
you.
being said, give me the Eagles here by 7 points. Why? Because the Eagles are at home. What else have I been preaching? It's really hard to win on the road. So, give me the Eagles here by 7. If this game's in Jacksonville, I'm taking the Jaguars, but it ain't in Jacksonville, baby. Eagles. Eagles.
Yeah, so give me the Eagles too. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Doug Peterson had a game plan drawn up for the Jags to come out and try to stomp down the field like they did for the last 3 weeks. But I think our defense can stop what they have coming to us. So give me the Eagles by 7.
Frankie Ewing on Facebook says the Jags are playing well, but the Eagles' preparation is locked in. I kind of want to touch on that in terms of preparation. This is an Eagles defense where most of these guys were opposite of Doug Peterson's offense for several years. I'm not saying Doug Peterson did not change his offense. I'm just saying that these veterans have seen Doug Peterson's offense, and it looks very similar to what he's running in Jacksonville right now. If you're looking at the tape from 2022 Trevor Lawrence, it looks very similar to 2017 Carson Wentz. So preparation is going to be key here. The Eagles being home is going to be key here. Doug Peterson's going to come in. They're going to put up points. The Eagles are going to score points in the second half for just the second time this season, and the Eagles are going to come out victorious. I'm calling, however, that the defense does not show up, and this is a shootout.
I'll tell you right now, I think that the Eagles are the second best coached team in this game.
I agree.
And I say that because if you look at these teams, obviously the Eagles have a better roster, but why is Jacksonville playing so well? Why are the Detroit Lions playing so well? They're very well coached teams. So if the Eagles come out and play in the second half again, like they have in second halves the last 2 weeks, they're going to lose this game. So I do believe that turns around this week. However, this is another one where the Eagles are going to have to play a little bit better in the second half than they have been, or else they will lose this game.
All right, Eagles. Moving on to the next game. It's the New York Jets.
I swear you were about to say New Jersey Jets.
I almost did, actually.
Yeah, I could kind of tell. I felt it. I felt Jersey on my ear.
Visiting the 1 and 2 New Jersey Jets, visiting the 1 and 2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Before I get into that, let me read this comment by Frankie. He says, I think the Eagles are very aware of their second half deficiencies. They will make a point to turn that around. I do agree. Sirianni already said that they were more aggressive this past week. Plays just didn't work out. You're talking if Jalen Hurts hits A.J. Brown on the deep post route in the end of the third quarter, it's a completely different complexion. We're not having as much of a conversation. So I do agree with you. And I agree that they will continue to try and stay aggressive. It's all about execution, though. It's all about execution. You can be aggressive as long as you're executing, and right now they're not. But yeah, so Jets visiting Steelers.
Tim, go first.
Okay. So I had this conversation. I've been talking about it all week.
Zach Wilson is back.
I know. I've been talking to my coworker who is a Jets fan, a huge Jets fan. Been talking to him all week about it. Give me the Steelers. I think the Steelers go and beat them. Give me them by 3. It's going to be a close game. I don't think Mitch Trubisky is the guy for them. But Zach Wilson's going to have some rust that he got to shake off, so give me the Steelers.
Let me go next.
I agree. I also take the Steelers here. I just, to me, it's a matter of Zach Wilson. You know, what's he going to come out as? I think he's a huge question mark at this point. Obviously, we still expect that he'll have some developmental issues. You know, I think he can be a good quarterback in this league, but it's his first game back. Hasn't played in a few weeks. So go ahead and give me the Steelers in a turnaround game here. Low scoring affair, 2017, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, Frankie Ewing, thank you for being so active. We appreciate it. He says in the Jets-Steelers game, take the under. I agree. Take the under. I'm talking 13-10, 14-10, one of those types of games. However, I'm going to go opposite of you guys. I'm going to go with the Jets.
Ooh.
Listen, Zach Wilson's
We're catching him this week, Tim. We're
Zach-
getting his ass.
Zach Wilson's coming back. I have to hope that he's prepared when he comes back. And overall, the Steelers just haven't looked like a Mike Tomlin-led Steelers team. They just haven't. The defense has looked pretty good, but the offense has not. Najee Harris can't get it going. Trubisky can't get the ball to their 3 good wide receivers. And I think that continues this week against the Jets. So give me Zach Wilson and the Jets. Yeah. Jets.
I knew you were going to say it. I was going to jump
Jets,
up and
Jets,
say, damn,
Jets.
he didn't say it. I was getting ready to jump up and be like, oh, he didn't say it this episode. Thank God.
All right, next game, the first 4 o'clock game, 4:05. The 1-2 Cardinals visiting the 1-2 Panthers. Carolina, for some reason, is favored to win this game. Tim,
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
a mystery to me.
The Cardinals
I'm
are
sorry.
home.
Yeah, I'll go. That's all right. I'll go first. I don't mind. I know we keep making you go first. I'm sorry. What?
Are the Cardinals home?
No, it's in Carolina.
Give me Carolina. I'll take Carolina this game. I think Christian McCaffrey plays. I think his injury reports are some BS, like Ryan said the other day, to give him rest without saying that he's resting, basically. So give me Carolina and Baker. I think Baker starts using DJ Moore. It's going to be a close game still. I don't think Kyle Murray has what it takes to be in the NFL still.
Timmy, Frankie Ewing, I apologize for saying your last name wrong the first 3 times I said it. Frankie Ewing says, I'm with you guys. Why in the world would Carolina be favored here?
It's simple because I've touched on it every week since we started our prediction show.
Okay.
It's hard to win on the road in the NFL. Very hard to win on the road. That being said, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, all got to get going. They realize that. Baker's got to be better at getting them the football. They realize that. Carolina has been gashed for some deep plays in the secondary. They realize that. This is the game that they turn all of that around and still lose by 3 points.
Wow. Yeah, you got me excited, right?
This is, I mean, I made the comment. I don't know why they'd be favored, but it's because they're at home. That's the reality of the situation. It is hard to win on the road in the NFL. That being said, the Cardinals have a lot to prove. They went 13-4 last year. Kyler Murray obviously doesn't look the same. They finally got Marquise Brown the targets that he deserves last week to open up this offense a little bit. James Conner's a little bit shaky with the ankle, but it sounds like he will be good to go for this game. Give me the Cardinals 29-26.
Frankie Ewing comments and says, and while I agree about road games, Carolina hasn't shown anything to be confident in.
And that being said, I just picked them. The Cardinals have.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping James Conner had what it get to get going because I need him in fantasy.
You need to trade him to me for a more realistic price.
Nah, I'm good. I hold him for now.
Yeah, so this game could literally go either way. I don't have confidences in either of these teams. I'm going to go with the Panthers here because they're home and because Christian McCaffrey's on the roster, and that's strictly the only reason I'm going to go with the Panthers is because they're home and because Christian McCaffrey's on the roster. I have no other ways to go about it. On paper, the Cardinals should be favored. I don't see why Carolina is favored, but yeah, strictly because they're home and McCaffrey's on the team, I'm going Panthers on this one.
I mean, it's like the next game that we're going to talk about. This next game's criminally embarrassing as a whole, first of all. But
Tim, I'll let you go last on this one.
Okay.
Because I know you want to give Krogan a shout out. The 2-1 Broncos are visiting the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas is favored to win this game.
Vegas should not be favored to win a game for the rest of the season.
What?
This right here tells you that Las Vegas, as in the betting internationals, do believe that being the home team means a lot in the NFL. Give me the Broncos, man. It's so weird because, like, the Broncos or like the Raiders are like, whatever the Broncos can do, we can do way worse. Like, the Broncos have bad coaching and Josh McDaniels is horrible. The wide receivers don't live up to expectations except for one, and then the Raiders wide receivers outside Devontae Adams don't exist. So the Raiders are just like a Walmart version of the Broncos. At least the Broncos can pull out some wins. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos here with as little confidence as humanly possible in a game that probably ends up like 27-24 for no reason at all between two very incompetent offenses, two incompetent teams, really.
Yeah, until the Raiders play a good game, I'm not taking the Raiders. I don't care. I just don't. I can't understand why Vegas is favoring Vegas in this one.
It's probably like the anti of what I've been saying forever. Teams don't go undefeated, just like teams don't lose every game. And those divisional matchups do get a little weird. I get it. But to me, Josh McDaniels just does not have the Raiders firing, not on all cylinders, but on any cylinder. At least the Denver Broncos defense is playing well.
Yeah, listen, Denver wins that game the other night. What was it, 11-10 or 12-11?
So the Denver Broncos have scored 16, 16, and 11 points in their 3 games. They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, so I'm also going to go Broncos here. Like I said, I'm not taking the Raiders until they show me at least some sort of life, which they haven't done yet. So
the first half of the Cardinals, they look good, and then the second half of the Cardinals game, they look really, really bad.
So go ahead, pull up the comment first.
Frankie Ewing says, when two bad teams, and Denver is bad, are playing each other, Vegas is going to roll with the home team. That might be the case.
Like 100% is the case. And I'm going to...
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why are you whispering?
He asked if I knew who Frankie Ewing was. I said yes.
Okay. But give me Vegas. I think they pull around this week. I think the running game gets going. I think Devontae Adams.
I think we fired Timmy.
No, he's good.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
I think
he's okay.
You think Devontae Adams gets going when he's not doing 4-step slants and creating open space, and when they're sending him on out routes every play?
I think he finally McDaniel's finally using him in the right way, especially because Renfro's out again. So,
seriously, if I'm Derek Carr, I'm calling route changes at the line.
Exactly.
Okay, you call that play. I'm calling whatever I want at the line. So
it's going to be a low-scoring game because the Broncos can't score for worth of anything. No, it's going to be in the 20s. So give me the Vegas 24-21. Close game.
All right. No, I'm not willing to put up double points on the game. The game's going to be ugly, horrible. I have no confidence. Like I said, with the least amount of confidence possible.
I guess I have to go away from you guys trying to win. You know what I'm saying?
In all honesty, like, if I didn't have to pick a game, like a winner in this game, I wouldn't.
I'm reading comments right here. Sorry, I apologize. So
you can't read.
Allie, to answer Ryan's question, is he's my second big brother, my brother's best friend, in reference to Frankie Ewing.
Okay.
Gary says, does that count as a fired Allie Brand? No, it does not, because I did not remove him from the pod. I will answer that one. And then Frankie Ewing again comments with, I'm actually with Tim on this one. I think Vegas pulls this one out. They're desperate. They're at home. Renfro will be the offensive MVP. Impossible.
Hunter Renfro's out.
So I'm sorry, Bill, but you're fired.
That fires me too, so you can't fire Bill.
I'll put you back in. It's no big deal.
All right, next game. We got to get through these last 3 games. Next game, the 1-2 Patriots visiting the 2-1 Packers. It's an interesting matchup.
Who's favored to win, bro?
Packers by 10.
Who's favored to win?
The Packers are definitely favored to win this game.
The people on Spotify need to know.
That's true. I apologize.
The Packers are favored by 10, and give me the Packers by 10.
Packers by 10. Okay.
Mac Jones isn't playing.
There really isn't a need to go over this. Mac Jones is a game time decision who's probably not going to end up playing. So Brian Hoyer, no, thank you. Just give me the Packers by 10.
They said Hoyer's starting, I think.
Mac Jones is still a game time decision was the last thing I heard. Obviously, he's not going to play because they're talking about giving him surgery that would put him out for 4 weeks. But Packers. I don't care who starts. I don't care if the GOAT Ryan Swift starts at quarterback for the New England Patriots. It's going to be the Packers.
I got Packers by 21 on this one. This won't be a close game. This will be one of those games that makes Robert Kraft think that he needs to pull the trigger on getting rid of Bill Belichick right away. It's going to be one of those games.
I don't have 21 fingers.
I apologize.
Damn it.
You have 10 fingers, 10 toes, and then an extra extremity. 21 points.
Can I use your pinky for a second?
No, we're good. 21 points victory here for the Packers. Honestly, the Packers defense has not been playing poorly. They've been playing pretty well, actually. Yes, Frankie Ewing, who says the Packers offense finally breaks out. I think they do. So I'm talking Patriots may not even get on the board here is what I'm talking. So 24-21, nothing in favor of the Packers. 8:20 p.m. game, Sunday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes and the 2-1 Chiefs visit Tom Brady and the 2-1 Buccaneers in Tampa, Florida.
The funny thing is, they're both coming off a loss.
Ryan will go first.
Yeah, so the Bucs offense obviously hasn't played well to this point.
But their defense.
The defense, as we expected, is going to play well under head coach Todd Bowles.
Imagine that.
Yeah. This is the game that changes. That I think the offense finds its stride here because they have to, and Brady knows that they have to, so Brady's going to do what he has to. Mike Evans is coming back. Sounds like Chris Godwin will probably play. I think he logged a limited practice today, so he should be good to go. My guy with the injury report up here next to me, kind of slacking on these games. We're still up in Detroit, and now we're talking about Tampa, so
Gage is listed as questionable. Julio's questionable. Godwin's questionable, but game time decision. And as we already know, Evans is back from a suspension.
Yeah, so I thoroughly believe that the Buccaneers offense gets going. However, it's going to be hard to keep up with Kansas City. I think that they have vengeance on their mind. Give me the Chiefs here. I think that they're slightly better coached. I think that Brady's slowly fading out. It's just not clicking for him as fast as it used to. That 2-point conversion play was an entire mess that you would not expect from a Tom Brady-led team, as we talked about on our recap show. Give me the Chiefs here. Big. Going to be a big game. 38-35, 38-31, something similar to the Bills-Ravens game. It's going to be offensive.
Tim.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. Tom Brady got to get it going for the Bucs to have a chance to win. I think the Chiefs come out on fire, pissed off, losing last week when it's a bad loss to the Colts. So give me the Chiefs, close but big. High score.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to coaching in this game. When your offense is struggling, it's up to the coach to put players in position to succeed. And Andy Reid has shown that he's better at doing it than, no offense to Todd Bowles or anything like that, but Andy Reid is just better than most people at doing that. So for me, it's the Chiefs. I'm going to read the comment because you guys know what Allie's been doing to me the last couple of weeks. Allie says, I won't troll you with the Bucs class in this episode because I'm not hopeful that they'll beat Mahomes, which is how I think the three of us also feel. I do believe the Buccaneers get the offense going, and it's going to roll into the rest of their season. But the Chiefs are going to win this game. The Chiefs are going to win this game somewhere in the 41-38 realm. It'll be high scoring. It'll be going, but the Chiefs are going to win this game.
Yeah, it'll get the Bucs going for the rest of the season, but this game now.
All right. Monday Night Football. We have the 2-1 Rams visiting the 1-2 San Francisco 49ers, and San Francisco is favored to win this game.
They're home, aren't they? San Francisco?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Give me the Rams. I think the Rams going to keep they lost to them 2 times last year in the regular season, and they're not going to happen again.
They almost lost them the third time.
True, they almost did. Interception away, they should have been caught. But give me the Rams. Cooper Kupp going to go off big. I hate to say it because I don't have him anymore. Cam Akers is going to have a big game running. So give me the Rams. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Jimmy G finally gets going somehow, some way.
I think it's funny you said that because I have a stat for you after you're done.
So give me the Rams.
This game, the Monday night game between the Rams and the 49ers, has the lowest over-under set projection of any game this week at 42.5. So when you said it was going to be a high-scoring game, that's why I laughed. I was like, Vegas didn't think so. I agree with them. The 49ers are both top 5 in pass defense and run defense to start the season. So I do think Cam Akers struggles, one, because even against mid defenses, he hasn't looked very good. So this game's going to rely on Stafford, and I do think that the Rams pull this out, but I think it's low scoring. I think like 20-10, somewhere in that neighborhood, that he does enough just to get done. And I truthfully think Jimmy G needs a couple weeks because he wasn't prepared to be the starter this year, and I just don't think that the 49ers are better than the Rams. Like I said, I think that the Rams now have found their stride. They're going to continue to get better as a team after not playing in the preseason. So give me the Rams here.
Frankie Ewing says, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, just like at the end of the season / playoff game from last year. These teams do not like each other. I also believe it could be a fun game to watch. However, I hope it's way more fun than that Niners-Broncos game was last Sunday night, because that was absolutely brutal to watch.
I think this set of primetime games, even the Thursday night game this week, I think this primetime week right here is probably the best week for it. Excluding the Europe game, I think that one was going to be trash. But
I'm also going to go Rams on this one. I think the X factor here is Matt Stafford versus Jimmy Garoppolo. As Ryan pointed out, Garoppolo is going to need a couple of weeks to really start gelling with these guys again. I know the argument can be made like, oh, he played with the same guys last year. You're right. But the entire offseason, entire preseason, Jimmy Garoppolo was running with the twos and didn't have a playbook. For me, that's a huge factor here. So give me the Rams, and it's not more than 42 points, but I do think it's a 7-point game in favor of the Rams. To answer Frankie Ewing's question, the question is Kittle is healthy or right? Debo will do Debo.
Yep, Kittle is healthier. Got logged full practices this week.
Correct. And that does it for our predictions for week 4. The last thing we're going to do here is Ryan has a riddle for Timmy and I.
I have a double-parted trivia question. JT Realmuto is the second catcher in AL/NL history to hit 20 home runs and steal 20 bases in a season. Who was the first? Chat, if you can get the answer without Googling it, please tell us. But if you Google it for the answer, have some integrity. Don't reveal it for these guys, please. That's all I ask. Until they give their guesses.
20-20.
Is he still playing?
No. Retired.
AL/NL. So he played for both. Which takes the one guy I had in my mind out.
Well, I think it just means AL/NL.
Collectively,
like league history, but like
20 home runs, 20 stolen bases.
Honestly, I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know.
Mike Lieberthal.
Frankie Ewing. Very correct.
Pudge. Okay.
Ivan Pudge Rodriguez.
All right.
The difference is JT Realmuto hasn't been caught in his 20 times stealing. Pudge got caught 12 times. The second part to this is there are 6 players that have stolen 20 bases without getting caught in a season. JT Realmuto is the second Philly to do it. Who's the first?
Jimmy Rollins?
No. You don't get another guess.
I was going to say Jimmy Rollins, but I'm not now. So give me Chase Utley.
Ding, ding, ding. Chase Utley stole 20 or more bases without getting caught in a season.
I was going to say Bryce Harper, but I was like, no, I can't.
He hasn't stolen 20 bases as a Philly yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, nah, give me Chase Utley. I thought either that or Shane Victorino.
I also would have second-guessed Victorino, yeah.
But Utley was such an efficient base runner, though, so that doesn't surprise me. Like, he wasn't a speed demon, but he picked his spots and he ran well.
Yep.
He's one of the best first to third on a single guy, too, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah. Frankie won. Timmy won. Bill
zero.
If you just replace my name with Frankie, that's going to be me this week. You know, Bill with all zeros here, obviously, in the games that we all differed from him.
Incorrect. That is an incorrect stat.
Like I said, things named Bill, just Bills. They stink.
The Bills are going to win now.
All right, fam. I just hate myself for saying that. All right, friends and people listening.
Get out.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us here on BSing Sports.
He said sus and then fam.
Where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Which one am I supposed to be using now?
Click the Orphan Rivers and then the outro.
Okay, click the Orphan Rivers and then the outro.